Sit back and grow your Ringgit sense. This program is powered by Ringgit Plus.
Hello there, I'm Azaria Tagaya, and thank you for tuning in to Ringgit Sense Plus. We often get complaints from viewers about how their income is never enough. For those earning less than 2,000 ringgit a month, things can be pretty tough as you live from paycheck to paycheck. So we wanted to inspire you all to start your own business and grow your income with this episode. In our next story, we speak to a man who went from earning 1,300 ringgit a month to 25,000 ringgit a month, all by changing his mindset and the way he did business. He did all of this even after losing his leg in an accident.
2008 was Muhammad Firdaus Abdul Latif's lowest moment in his life. He was a victim of a hit-and-run accident which left him in a coma. When he woke up, he found out that he had lost his mobility.
Lepas saya selesai koma tu lama 40 hari. Lepas sedar tu memang sedih lah. Apa tiba-tiba kita daripada awal kita aktif, tak boleh bergerak langsung. Semua sedih lah. Rasa putus asa semua ada.
Firdaus decided to pick himself up and tried various businesses. His income was merely 1,000 ringgit at first. He then went into the printing business and saw his income rise to about 5,000 to 6,000 ringgit a month. But what really changed his fortune was when he took part in a program called RISE, which helps disabled people raise their income.
Saya dikenalkan dengan program RISE Foundation ni, saya pergi. Lepas saya pergi tu, saya ambil apa yang diajar apa semua. Saya praktikkan, sekarang pendapat saya dah hingga 20,000 hingga 30,000 sebulan.
RISE, or Reach Independence and Sustainable Entrepreneurship Program, is run by People Systems Consultancy and funded by Maybank Foundation. Participants are given 3 days of intensive training where they learn business strategies. After that, a mentor is assigned to them to guide them for 3 to 6 months. The biggest challenge the mentors face is trying to change the self-doubt the participants have in their potential to succeed. Many have family members and friends who tell them they can't achieve much in life because of their disabilities.
So that's where our role comes in as a mentor, to make them see things in a more positive light, to encourage them, to motivate them, to push them so that they're not trapped in that bubble of negativity lah, to say.
Mereka bagi nasihat selalu pada segi support, selalu call saya untuk tanya macam mana perkembangan bisnes apa semua. Dan saya ada apply beberapa tajuk yang masa diajar tu. Tapi yang bagi penting bagi saya tu, masa tu program dia, tajuk dia ialah Blue Ocean. Blue Ocean dia teknik gabungan. Daripada teknik gabungan tu, apa dia ajar tu saya gabung sendiri. Dia ajar kita buat gabungan. Maksudnya daripada saya printing, sebenarnya saya nak gabungkan dengan apa yang ada dalam depan mata saya. Saya boleh gabungkan dengan orang buat construction, gabung dengan ladang, orang buat makanan. Sebenarnya kita tak nampak, tapi selepas saya pergi program saya memang baru nampak.
What is interesting about the RISE program is that even though a large bank funds it, no grants or loans are provided to the participants. Instead, they have to use their own resources to grow their business. Only when the business grows and has a steady income will the bank provide them with a loan. This is to make sure they learn proper cash flow management. Firdaus took a 150,000 ringgit 5-year loan to buy this printing machine. After 2 years, he has already made back the money from it. He advises fresh graduates who still can't get a job after graduating to start a business. Don't be shy in asking for advice and be confident in yourself.
Saya jangan takut. Nak tak nak kena buat sekarang ni. Sebab apa, belum tentu kita lepas habis graduan ni, belum tentu dapat kerja. Nak tak nak kita kena buat something, business. Jangan ingat kita nak bisnes perlukan modal yang besar. Yang kecil pun dah boleh buat bisnes.
Firdaus is happy he can provide for his family. He's constantly going out meeting students who are his main clients to introduce his printing business. The change in his personality to someone who is more positive has not gone unnoticed.
Kawan-kawan, keluarga lagi gembira lah sebenarnya. Sebab aku dapat bantu dia orang tak banyak, sikit pun dapat juga bantu. Kawan-kawan pun dia seronok sebab apa, nampak perbezaan saya dulu dengan sekarang.
The most impressive changes is seriously their mindset. I've seen participants who were so down, who had no self-confidence, totally don't believe in themselves, and even just after the 3 days training, they have completely changed into a new person. You know, that's really, really inspiring even to me, because that's not something easy that can be easily done to just like break out of that bubble, you know. And actually, they are even more creative than I am, I would say, you know.
Firdaus now has big plans for his future. He wants to expand his shop into a large printing factory and diversify into other businesses like the car wash business.
Dulu saya nak buat apa pun tak mampu. Macam kita nak pergi mana-mana pun kena bantu orang ataupun segi kewangan tak mampu. Dan ni apa yang dulu tak boleh sekarang dah boleh lah.
So our question to you is, if Firdaus, who is in a wheelchair, could grow his business to a 5-figure income every month, what's holding you back?
So what are the types of businesses you can start on your own? Well, after the break, we'll be giving you some ideas. In the meantime, if you want to share the story you just watched with your friends, go to our Facebook page and let us know also about what you thought about the story. Did it inspire you? We'll see you in a bit. Thanks for staying with us. Now, for many who have lost their jobs or are just not getting paid enough, you always have the option of starting a business. But what business can you do if you don't have any experience? In our next story, we're going to give you some ideas.
Earlier in the show, we showed how disabled Firdaus went from earning less than 2,000 ringgit a month to 25,000 ringgit a month. He achieved this after attending the Reach Independence and Sustainable Entrepreneurship, or RISE program, run by People Systems Consultancy and funded by the Maybank Foundation. The program is designed to train, coach and mentor disabled participants to develop their entrepreneurial skills, resulting in higher income levels, thus improving their standard of living. So far, the program has trained 14,000 participants and they achieved an average income increase between 100 to 400% for each participant within 1 to 2 months of the program. We asked the CEO of Maybank Foundation, Shahril Azwar Jimin, and the Executive Director of People Systems Consultancy, Raymond Gabriel, what are the lessons others can learn from the program. According to Raymond, it's not advisable to start a business with a huge loan that will only result in one having to pay off a huge debt. He advises entrepreneurs to always take the first business experience as a learning process. Fresh graduates may want to start their own businesses, but before turning down a steady job or packing away the interview suit, graduates need to evaluate if they truly have what it takes to start a business.
Starting a business is not something very difficult, but I think it's very important for you to learn how to do it. Now, your first business may not be something you succeed at. It may be a learning curve, and you don't want to end up in debt over a huge amount of loans because your first business loan didn't work out. Or even if it does, you may not know where to put your money from that loan. So my advice to young people is start small. If you are working, maybe do something in the weekends, do something in the evenings, but get something going. Go out there, get excited about business, start something. And as you grow and as you learn about the business, then you can look at, okay, where can I get capital? Where can I get things to start? So focus on the selling first, focus on trading, focus on creating value in your business to grow.
There's two things. Number one, be more innovative, be more creative. And number two, have more empathy about and learn about how other people can succeed without having the things that you had, and in the process perhaps feel a little less sorry for yourself.
With plenty of possible business ventures to get into, fresh graduates may not know what startup business is suitable for them. We asked Raymond what type of businesses can one start using a smaller capital to lower the risk of failure.
I think trading is the easiest. If you can get goods, a lot of young people are doing things like drop shipping now. They're doing things like selling stuff online, which is okay, but there's a lot of people doing that. So you've got to think about how to create events, how to have that face-to-face interactions with your customers. Because Malaysia, while we have a lot of people who buy online or whatever, there's always the big boys, people like Shopee, Lazada, and all these other guys who are doing the same thing. So if you want to be a player doing that with them, I think you've got to look at how you can generate traffic, generate customers, how you can get people to come to you. It's not very difficult for someone who is a fresh grad to do it. There's plenty of materials they can learn online. They can look at going and finding out about running a business. They can learn from different mentors that they can find actually. There's a lot of people available. But the main thing is start small, get into it, and look at how you can not move away from the fundamentals. I think the fundamentals are basically income generation.
When it comes to taking your business online, the key is to increase web traffic. It would be of no use to have a good product website if it doesn't succeed in drawing people to visit and purchase the product. So think of innovative ways to attract consumers. Starting a business comes with a host of challenges. According to Sharil and Raymond, rejection is one of the things that can make people give up when pursuing entrepreneurship.
People like us, so-called able-bodied people, and we see how the struggles these participants have been through in life. They faced many obstacles. They faced many rejections. Yeah, facing obstacles is one thing, but let me tell you, facing rejections can actually kill you, And the determination that they have, the grit, I use the word grit, that they have, wow, it will put many of us, especially the younger ones, the fresh graduates, they will put us to shame. So that's one thing that we can actually learn from these people.
Additionally, Raymond says that the most important thing is to have a passion for the business you will be pursuing.
The last piece of advice to them is always follow your passion. Never do and get into a business because somebody else is making money. If you think that, okay, that business, I see a lot of my friends making money on it, but I don't have a passion in it, but I still want to get into it, it's a recipe for disaster. I think the most important thing is for them to do something they're passionate about, that they are excited about. That's where they will actually do well. If you're passionate about something, you'll do it better than other people, and you will actually earn better than other people as well.
Lastly, keep in mind that starting a business can be tough, especially if you're fresh out of college or university. But the key is to start small and to pursue a business idea that you truly believe in.
Once you start a business, the challenge is to keep it going. After the break, we're going to give you tips on how to keep that business going in the early years. In the meantime, why not invest some time in learning about managing your own personal finances first? Go to our Facebook page to watch more videos there. We'll be back shortly. Thank you for staying with us on Ringgit Cents Plus. I'm Azaria Tagaya. For those of you who just joined us, we're talking about starting your own business. For those who want to quit their comfortable salaried jobs to go full-time into their own company, it can be a scary leap. Do you quit your job right away? And how do you manage your expenses? Well, we spoke to Ringgit Plus to hear about common mistakes entrepreneurs can avoid in the early years.
These days, some fresh graduates might be thinking of starting their own company, but are nonetheless wondering whether to apply for a salaried job first or jump straight into starting a business. We turned to Yuen Tuck Siu, the Chief Operating Officer of Jernexu, which operates Ringgit Plus.
Good question. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. a lot of it will really come down to that fresh graduate's situation, right? So the reality is if you are going to try and start your own business, it is more risky, right? There's less certainty of income, less certainty of outcome, right, in terms of whether the business will succeed or fail. So if you're in a position where a steady income is the most important thing to you, then at any point in your life, whether you're a fresh graduate or not, then that's going to be a difficult decision to make. But when you look at the data, right, the data is mixed. You look at some of the most successful entrepreneurs, both here in Malaysia and overseas. So you look at some of the most successful startups today in the US, right? Jeff Bezos was a professional investor before he started Amazon. But on the other hand, Bill Gates started Microsoft. In fact, he dropped out of school to start Microsoft. If you look at some of the local examples, right, both Job Street and Catcher Group, Mark Chang and Patrick Grove, they started off as professionals before they became entrepreneurs. But more recently, you've got people like Joel Neal from Fave Group, right, and previously Groupon. So he was a serial entrepreneur straight out of college. So the data itself is mixed, right? But I would say the most important thing is, what is your personal situation?
By now, many of us would be familiar with the story of Bill Gates, the Microsoft co-founder who dropped out of college only to become one of the richest people in the world. The situation with many Malaysian graduates is that often they find it hard to secure jobs in the fields that they study in. And thus, some are even thinking of jumping straight into entrepreneurship and forgo that college degree altogether.
So there are differing views on this. There's people like Peter Thiel, right, in the US, who is actively funding young people to skip college and go straight into startup. Personally, and I felt that those couple years in university were very important, not just from an education point of view, but also just from a growing up point of view.
UN says that going through the college experience is essential in building one's outlook on life, as it gives much needed training and education on the required skills that you may need later on in life. Just in case you're someone with a burning passion for business who decides to jump straight into it, there's always the option of going back to school later on once you've set the foundation for your business.
I think you have to make a practical decision at that point. Right. If it's an industry where it really is very tough to get a job, I would not necessarily look at entrepreneurship as the only alternative. Right. I would also look at other industries, because again, realistically, starting your own business is an extremely high risk option. Right. As a career choice, probability of failure is much higher than being a professional. So I would look at those two things, right? One is, are there other industries or other job options, right, which can offer me a steady income? And secondly, again, always ask yourself, is this something you really, really want to do?
For UN himself, he studied history, but later gained working experience in various fields, among them the banking industry, before then making the jump into business and starting his own company. On a personal level, UN says the experiences gained from those early working years were essential in ensuring he did not repeat the mistakes he saw other entrepreneurs make.
I feel that that kind of 8 years of working with other people was invaluable to me. Right. So I don't know if it would have been easier if I'd waited longer or if I'd done it sooner, but I will say that the lessons learned before, right, before starting my own business were really important. Right. There were mistakes I'd made while working for other people, which I did not have to make again.
For those looking at the probability of entrepreneurship, UN says you need to really know your business and the reason you want to pursue it. According to UN, starting your own business can pose its own challenges. But every successful entrepreneur will need these 3 essential things to survive. The first is motivation to keep your business running, no matter what hurdles come your way. And the second is a company's finances. UN says in some cases, a company with a really good idea is not able to execute if they underestimate the amount of cash they really need.
The last one is people, right? And it's in every sense. Everything from the people who you work with in your team, the team you build, and how you treat your vendors and your partners. Most successful companies take a really, really long time to build. And traditional, or not traditional, but I would say popular kind of startup folklore is fail fast, right? And sometimes that's taken to mean, you know, you can just try something, if it fails, doesn't matter, even if it's with a partner or if it's with a vendor or a client. But if you do that too often and you keep failing with third parties, you know, it can be hard to reapproach them and work with them again. And you know, the industry is very small, right? Not just in Malaysia, but even Southeast Asia. So when you think about your long-term goal for yourself and the business, take into account the relationships you build, right? The reputation you build.
Well, we hope today's episode has inspired you to at least think about how you can start your own business. Find us on Facebook and let us know, what are your biggest concerns about managing your personal finances? Do you have questions you want answered about money? We'll be happy to help if we can. I'm Azaria Tagaya. Until next week, remember to invest and save wisely.
Tune in next week and visit ringgitplus.com today for more Ringgit wisdom. This show is brought to you by Ringgit Plus.